Hello and welcome to the FGandRZ podcast. I'm your host RZ or Aaron, and this is my co-host FG or Luke. Say hello.
Yeah.
Cool. Not much has happened this week, like literally at all. So this is probably going to be like a really short podcast. We've got some Borderlands gameplay, and then we've got a few film trailers that we're going to talk about. So the first one we're going to talk about is Sonic. Did you watch the trailer? I watched the trailer. What did you think? Right, we'll start with what did you actually think of Sonic, because that's the thing what everyone's talking about right now is the actual look of Sonic.
So when I first watched it, when I first watched it, I wasn't too sure what people were complaining about, because his face obviously looks a little different to Sonic does, but I think it still looks okay. But it was when I saw like his really weird body proportions, how like they're just so human-like, and I was like, wait, that's not Sonic at all. Where's the long legs? You know what I mean? Where's the big shoes? Where's the big gloves? Like, yeah, like the head looked pretty bad, but not compared to the body at all. So once I saw that, man, I can't be the only one that like when they was watching the trailer, I was like, is that Gangsta's Paradise in the background of a Sonic movie?
Yes! Oh, thank you! When I heard Gangsta's Paradise, I was like, what kind of song is this to play at, like, in a Sonic? Like, it just didn't matter. It was literally like they didn't know what song to put over it, and the person who made the trailer was like, well, Gangsta's fucking Paradise is a pretty decent song, let's just throw that over the top. Literally, it just felt like it was not. Like, what is that to do with Sonic at all? Like, it's literally, it didn't even set the tempo, the scene, nothing. I was just like, what is going on?
That being said, they are changing the way Sonic looks, which is kind of cool, but they're not pushing back the release date, so I wonder how they're even going to get that done in time.
Yeah, which is really cool. I actually think that's sick. I assume they're just going to, like, I think they're just going to change the model and then just re-render it, which shouldn't take too long. As long as the film is obviously going to be highly CGI'd, but then again, you've got the computers and stuff to be able to do that now. So I can see why they can probably change it without changing the deadline, but you never know really. They might delay it like later on. What did you think of Jim Carrey as the new Eggman or Dr. Robotnik?
So the very first time I saw him on scene, like I was like, wait, he looks nothing like him. I was like, Jim Carrey, really? Like,
yeah, that was the exact.
Like, but then I actually saw him. So like you actually seen him play the character and stuff, and then it started looking good. And then as it got later and later on, he started getting like the outfit. And then you get the actual tease at the very end with the mustache and everything, like fully puffed out and stuff. Then he looked really good. He looked basically the trailer. Jim Carrey looks amazing in it. To be honest.
Yeah. So when I am not a fan of Jim Carrey. Like everyone,
what?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone says the exact same thing, right? Everyone says, like, oh my god, you're not a fan of Jim Carrey. How? I honestly just believe he plays the same character in every single film he's in. So yeah, I'm not.
Most people in any. That's most actors.
I understand that, but I don't know. I just never liked any. Like, I think the only film of Jim Carrey's I've liked is Liar Liar. I think that's the only film.
You didn't like The Mask?
No. I also didn't like The Grinch.
Wait.
I don't like The Grinch.
Did you have a shit childhood?
Literally, I just don't like Jim. I've never liked Jim Carrey. Same as Dumb and Dumber. I think it's dumb. Literally, Bruce Almighty, dumb film. I just don't. The characters he plays, every time I watch him, it's just like I don't see the comedy in it. I just don't. He's also in Kick-Ass 2. I never watched Kick-Ass 2.
You watched anything?
He did play the Riddler, didn't he, as well? But I didn't like that Batman either.
Why isn't it George Clooney Batman?
Yeah, but I didn't like him as I didn't like him as the Riddler either. Like, I just don't. But saying that, right? I watched the start. I was like, okay, you know, it didn't make me laugh that much, right? I do think he looks quite cool though. Now, Eggman for me normally is quite fat and round and, you know, a big tall guy. And Jim Carrey's like not very tall.
Wait, big tall?
Eggman. Yeah, Eggman's massive.
Are you sure?
Eggman's fucking. Have you seen Eggman's legs?
You're gonna have to show me. I'm not a massive Sonic fan.
Legs are massive. Let me find you a picture real quick. Right. Look right there. I can't save the picture, but literally, right? Eggman's legs are really long. He's probably one of the tallest characters in Sonic. But he's probably one of the tallest characters in Sonic, easily.
To be fair, those legs.
That's what I mean. Like,
Jim Carrey is still like 6'1", 6'2".
So it will be interesting to see if he can pull it off. And like, I can't. In all honesty, I can't remember what Eggman was that like as a character. I obviously you remember Sonic, but one thing you don't see in this show, and I don't think he's going to be in the film, which is kind of disappointing. There's no Sonic crew in there. No Amy. There's no Knuckles. There's no Tails. Don't you like any of them?
No, it's a Sonic film. I don't like.
You don't like the crew?
No, like especially not for like a Sonic film, mate. I don't like Knuckles. I don't like Tails. I like Shadow.
Shadow's cool. I like Shadow.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't have them in for a Sonic movie. No, it's not called Sonic and the Gang, is it? Like, it's
but the whole idea of Sonic is Sonic with his like crew.
I disagree.
Tell me what game you've played of Sonic where Sonic's crew isn't in it.
But they're in the game because it adds more depth to the missions. Like, if you were just playing Sonic the entire time, it's not going to be as interesting or as complex as if you have to switch between like using Tails and Knuckles as well. That's just specifically there for like gameplay reasons.
I don't know about that. I think the characters they're fun. They're interesting. Sonic's not that interesting really of a character.
None of them are. Like, I
don't think any of them are, to be fair. You're kind of right. I agree. Like, not really anyone from the Sonic friend, but all of them as a package is more interesting than just Sonic on his own.
Well, either way, I'm not a massive Sonic fan, and even though I didn't like the way the trailer looked, I thought Sonic looked like creepy weird because it's not how he looks. Like, and like I say, I'm not like, oh, you've ruined Sonic for me, because I don't really care for Sonic. I didn't like the games really. I just never been a massive Sonic fan. But he did look so weird. I don't know why you would change it. Like, why wouldn't you just use the original Sonic look to begin with?
Yeah, and whoever made it, right? So this is Sega and some other company that's actually making this. You telling me Sega's seen that? You know that there's in the trailer where he's like stretching.
Yeah.
You telling me Sega's seen that and was like, yeah, that's the Sonic we created?
Yeah. I have no idea.
Like that's not the Sonic anyone's seen. Like,
it's like with Jim Carrey today, it's a bit different. Right? It's like they get him as close to Eggman as they can, obviously, but like it's still kind of supposed to be live action. There's only so much you can get someone to look like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I reckon they'll make him look really close to Eggman at the very least by the end of it.
I think they'll give him a hard shot. Yeah, definitely.
But with Sonic, like if you just CG in it, why did you make it so weird? Like, just make it regular Sonic. I don't know why they tried to make him look more. They gave him more human features than he needed. Like, his eyes were weird. Even his hair was not the way it is when you normally see Sonic. It was weird. It was creepy to look at. I didn't really like the look of it. And then like the scene with the missiles, that's just so bad. That was so bad.
It literally just reminded me of Flash.
Yeah,
like when Flash gets shot and it's just like one moment you can see the bullet traveling to you, next moment you'd probably get hit by it. I hate stuff like that when it comes to speed. it just annoys me. It's like he's literally breakdancing while these rockets are frozen in time. But I guarantee in the film something's gonna hit him when he's running.
Yeah, like I say, I'm not a massive Sonic fan, so I don't know how fast he goes. But realistically, I don't actually imagine he goes that fast. That he's basically stopped time, which he did do. They weren't even moving slowly; they were stopped.
Yeah, they were frozen. They were dead frozen. Yeah, so yeah, he's so quick you can stop time. Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced that in one of the games really, but
and
then
even
again,
like
I haven't
even
played the newest games.
even when you see like Flash and stuff, it's like that only happens rarely, and that happens because Flash vibrates his whole body to make time stop. It's called Flash time, and it's like he has to do something specific to make time basically stand still. Where Sonic just kind of looked like he was just chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what Sonic can do, but I thought he just ran fast. I didn't think he actually like had Flash's powers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're right. We'll quickly end this off, but we'll get a quick rundown. But just the trailer, what you've seen, you reckon the film's gonna flop or fly?
I reckon there's a good chance it'll be really good if they when they remake Sonic, if he looks good. Because like I think the thing with the trailer is like it's seen as worse than it is because people are memeing on Sonic, but in all honesty, if Sonic didn't look that bad, I didn't think it looked that bad.
Yeah, you're probably right there. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like. I don't think it's going to be the next hit, and I don't think there's going to be a Sonic 2.
Nah, it's a game movie. There might be a Sonic 2, but yeah, it's a game movie.
I reckon this might just be like a one-hit wonder, and so I currently I'm happy they're changing the Sonic, and I'm impressed that they're changing the Sonic, and that's really good. But honestly, I don't think it's going to skyrocket and going to be the next big movie or anything like that. I don't even think it's going to be that great, but we'll see in the future if they release more trailers. We'll jump over to our next topic, which is Detective Pikachu, which is coming out next week. You've watched the trailer for that. I've watched the trailer for it. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it looks alright. I'm not super excited for it or anything, but like it looks alright.
I'm not a Pokemon fan at all, and I actually reckon this is going to be really good.
Yeah, I think it's just because it doesn't look like Pokemon. It's just kind of like it's obviously set in a universe where Pokemon is, but it doesn't follow the same kind of rules that like the anime and the games follow. Like it doesn't look like it's like about training Pokemon and stuff. It looks just more like there's a story that they're telling in the Pokemon world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like Pokemon to me. It just kind of has like its own little story going, and it looks more like a gimmicky thing where they're like trying to bring the world of Pokemon to life on screen while telling like a comedic story. You know what I mean? And I think it looks really cool and interesting, but I'm not super excited for it, but I do want to see it still.
Are you going to go to the cinema to watch it, or are you just going to wait for it to come out?
Maybe, but definitely not non-release.
But I think I'm going to go Saturday to watch it, or Friday.
When does it come out?
I think it comes out Thursday, so I'm going to go either Friday or Saturday to go watch it. I don't think it's going to be sold out or anything.
No, I don't.
Personally, though, one thing that I'm happy about is Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Pikachu. I think it's going to add like a real comedic vibe to it. And I think Ryan Reynolds, if you hear like that Ryan Reynolds is a part of something, I don't know, his voice just... Maybe I got a bit of a gay thing for him. His voice just immediately makes me smile. So it's just like, as soon as I hear him, it's just like, yeah, I'm probably going to go watch this film. I think every film that I've watched of Ryan Reynolds been in so far, I've actually enjoyed.
Wait,
I haven't watched it. No, I didn't watch it.
Okay, you knew what I was going to say.
Yeah.
There's been a few Ryan Reynolds movies that I haven't liked, but all of the recent stuff I've liked.
Yeah. I think Ryan Reynolds is really good, and I think just as a person, like he's getting... Like, so he knows where he shines in comedy, and I think he's just pushing that forward even further with obviously Deadpool now jumping into Detective Pikachu.
Watch X-Men, what was it, Origins? I believe so, yeah, with Deadpool.
where he played. No, that's Wolverine.
Sorry,
Where
yeah,
he plays Deadpool in
Wolverine
Wolverine.
Origins. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I
Yeah, he
watched
was.
that.
Yeah, he was all right when he was actually like
When he
himself.
was, when he was human, he was actually really
I
fun.
think you see him for like 5-10 minutes, but when you do, he's really good. And then,
yeah,
I agree.
That scene was so sick as well. Like when it, like, I kind of, I didn't have the brain.
Cool as well.
I didn't have the brain to actually function that he was him from the elevator until like I watched it the second time. So I don't know how young I was when it came out, or if I was that all interested. But I remember being like, "Oh, what happened to that sword guy? He was a badass when he puts his sword together and he's just he's just splitting the bullets. Absolutely clean."
That stuff I don't even really care about. It's just more the jokes and stuff he makes that I really like.
Yeah. Like I think this film's gonna be pretty decent. I don't know what it's all about. I think the kid's father's like died or something.
Yeah, it would just be its own story. Like I said, like it won't really be like a Pokemon related story. It would just probably be more like, like just like I say, they've got like a mystery to solve or something. It's just I don't think the story is important. I think it's just the journey that's important with this film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the origin of Detective Pikachu actually came from the game that was originally released, I think, in Korea or something, and it blew up from there, I think. So I don't think there's any movie, or it might have been a comic. I'm pretty sure it was a game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a game, Detective Pikachu, and it was only released in a certain country, and then it like boomed, and then other countries got it, and then the film came out. So I'm intrigued to see where they're going, and if I actually think this film's going to be a pretty big success, and I think they're probably going to make a Pikachu 2. And as well,
no, I don't think they'll make it.
You reckon this is going to be a one hit?
I can't. I don't know. They might try something else in the Pokemon universe, but not like.
Yeah, well, I'm interested that if this works, if they're gonna try and bring out a different Pokemon in like a live action kind of form. You know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
Like this style where the Pokemon are like furry and with humans walking the street sort of thing. If they're gonna try that, but with something else. Like try basically just the Pokemons, but not a animated one. Just go for like a real time one. It'd be interesting if they did. Was it the first ever Pokemon? Was Pokemon 1 the one with actual Ash from the very start?
What do you mean Pokemon 1?
Was there a Pokemon 1 film that the one with Ash in? Is that just Pokemon?
Wait, no, every Pokemon film is Ash.
Wait, what? I thought he died.
Yeah, but then
I know nothing about Pokemon at all.
Yeah, but then he comes back.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I mean, I can tell you how he comes back if you want to know.
Yeah, he basically gets Han Solo, don't he?
He gets turned to stone, and then Pikachu's tears and the other Pokemon's like love.
Yeah, that's what happens in the old one. Yeah, that's what happens in the first one.
Yeah, that's the one that he dies.
The one he dies, he comes back. Jesus, I haven't watched Pokemon in donkeys.
Yeah, that's the only time that he dies.
Really?
Yeah, and then there's the remake. There's the remake Pokemon that they did, which is like what could have happened in a different timeline, which is one of the more recent films, which he dies and comes back to life in that one as well. But that one's not like canon. That one's just like this is what could have happened if. This is just what could have happened if he did something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Would you reckon they'd do like a live action Pokemon with like someone playing as Ash?
No, I think it'd be awful. This is good because it's its own thing, and they're not but they're just using the Pokemon universe and telling their own story, which is why it looks good. But like immediately, if you try and do something with Ash, first of all, the animated stuff works just fine. But if you try and do something with Ash, I think it's gonna be hard to find someone that looks like him and sound like him that everyone can agree on it and doesn't think it looks awful.
It's one of them things in it where it's like if you mess with someone's character that like is beloved, it doesn't always play into people's like
I say as well, like it's just not something that needs to be done. Like it doesn't need to be done. you could just keep making the animated stuff, and the animated stuff is still like really good.
Yeah. Okay.
Apart from the latest TV series, but yeah.
Okay. I haven't watched. Literally, I wasn't really a big Pokemon fan, so
I wasn't when I was a kid, but I got a bit more into it as I got older.
I literally know. Right, we'll jump over to the next topic. We'll stay on the movie track. Apparently, a Saints Row film is coming out, which is going to be made by the directors of Fast and Furious. What do you think of that?
I think that just doesn't even sound good. Doesn't even remotely sound good. Why? First of all, why do they keep trying to make these like? Why do they keep trying to make game films? The thing is, the beauty of a game, right? That's so good is a game is a interactive film, right? We get those emotional moments in the games. We get like epic cinematic battles, but then we also get to play the game, so we get like more character development and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like a game is generally just like a more expensive film, that takes more time to like complete an experience. So I don't know why they're trying to make them more film, like a lot more game films lately, especially since the highest rating game movie we've ever had was fucking God, what's that one with the Rock? Rampage?
Yeah.
And that's like, I believe that's a really freaking old game,
It's
and
like
like
an arcade.
I have to think back to remembering that, but I think it's like one where you get to play as like a monkey and King Kong, right? Or like you get to play as basically King Kong and like a Godzilla and stuff, and you go around destroying buildings and stuff.
I honestly don't even know if it was in our time zone, dude. When
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure I remember
1986.
Yeah, 100% remember playing that game with my brother. 100%.
What, 1986?
Yeah, you can still play it.
Yeah,
100% remember playing that game with my brother. It's just you just go around destroying stuff, right?
Yeah, like buildings. To be fair, and I'm pretty.
And
to be fair, I'm pretty sure there was like a billion like games that were also like Rampage. Yeah, but yeah, you was basically a King Kong that just jumped on top of buildings and destroyed them. Thingy done a replica of it. League did. Do you remember with their Cho'Gath?
No, I 100% played Rampage. 100%. 100%. It was on the Xbox. It came out on the Xbox Arcade.
Oh yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly.
100%.
Yeah, it was also on the Nintendo 64 Rampage too.
Didn't play that, but definitely played it on Xbox Arcade.
Yeah, but like, yeah, even that game. Yeah, that's our most successful game. Film.
And this isn't even like really a game, you know what I mean? This is like just kind of like your standard action, like your standard just mess around, you know what I mean? Get points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very old, very old. And yeah, exactly. And that's our best rated game film. And they didn't even get a great rating, did it? It was like
quickly have a look
52% on Rotten Tomatoes. There you go.
52.
Yeah, and 6 out of 10 on IMDb. So like those aren't good ratings, but when you take into account that's the best we've got, what do you still keep trying to make video game movies? Like it doesn't make sense to me. So and Saints Row as well isn't even a good one to make a film off of. Especially since most people don't even like the games now.
The thing is, right, with Saints Row, what plot are they going from? Are they going from the newer Saints Row games that everyone hates, where you're going to have people's heads exploding? I don't even know if people hate them. I think some people do like them.
No, people definitely don't like them.
And then you have Saints Row 1 and 2, which I actually loved. They were classics. But it was because it was like a GTA replacement. It wasn't anything special.
Gang stuff, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing movie like related there that you can really make well. I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know why you would like Saints Row film. Why?
I honestly don't. Right, let me just pan out what this film what will happen in this film by just going off my knowledge of the games. Right, your character's gonna the protagonist is gonna join a gang. Right, a lot of people are probably gonna get shot up. He's gonna go and shoot gangs. There's gonna be drugs involved. There's gonna be alcohol involved. There's going to be a scene where he goes through like a house and there's people sleeping with people and he's just shooting them all up. That happens in every Saints Row. And that's about it. That's about it. And that that ain't gonna make money. I'm telling you now, that ain't making money because
I
no
don't
one's
think it
going to
will.
watch that.
Well, like I say, most game films don't make money anyway because, like I say, like most people don't expect them to be good anyway, and your only audience is people who have already completed the game. So the only reason we would have to go and see, like, oh, maybe it's good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like take the Tomb Raider one for example, right? Like I much prefer the Tomb Raider story that we got in the game than the one we got in the film. So
Yeah.
like even though I saw the film, it's just like I wouldn't watch the next one. When they make the next one, I won't watch it because not that the film was that bad, just the games are better.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
tell the
you're right.
same story but do it better.
Yeah, and what I didn't like about the Tomb Raider one is they kind of said it was going to be a replica of the game, and it wasn't at all. Like, it had some scenes where it kind of like stole stuff from the game.
Yeah.
Didn't have the
It
same
didn't spin at the
storyline
end.
really. Yeah, it had its own little spin, but that's what I mean. It's like, don't tell me it's the game when it's not the game. And also, I didn't enjoy it that much. I honestly didn't. I thought it was decent. I'm not gonna say it was god awful, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't awful.
I ain't gonna sit there and say it was amazing. I honestly still think Tomb Raider should have been recasted to Rey from Star Wars, and I think she would have done a way better job.
See, I agree with you. I think Rey is a better choice, but I still think that the actress who played her did a fine job.
I thought I did think she did a good job.
Like she didn't bring down the movie to me at all.
She didn't.
The only thing that brought down the movie to me was just like I said, like it pretty much is what we've already said. It was the same story from the game, but with different parts happening like in between, like in the movie that don't happen in the game. But they were worse as well. They were worse than what happens in the game, because it takes away from the actual main mystery, the main mystery that they're exploring in Tomb Raider. And then when they kind of get to it, it's got more of a scientific explanation behind it than the games do, where the games embrace the kind of mystical arts and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They embrace the idea of magic and stuff, and it's very cool because of it, and like curses and stuff. But they didn't really do that in the film. They gave it like a very logical way out, which again, it's cool in its own degree. But because I play the games, why would I want to watch the movie?
Yeah. Games can just fit a lot more in as well, because obviously a game's runtime is averagely between, I'd probably say 8 to
10 hours.
8 to 12 hours maybe.
16.
Yeah. To throw that at you, just a little. No, I'll go on to it later actually, because we can change topic from that anyway.
Okay.
So go on.
Yeah, 100% what you're saying. Like, you're copying the idea of a game, right? Like, you're copying the game. Like, let's make this a movie. But the game only works because it has enough time to give you the story. It's like a book, right? Like when you try and take books, like if you wanna, you will never do the books justice. You'll never do the books justice in the film because there's not enough time. You know what I mean? You don't have enough time to get everything that you need to in. But the beauty of seeing a film instead of reading a book is you get the visualizing with it. You know what I mean?
You can see your character like
in
front of you.
Yeah, so if you're not really that creative or anything like that or imaginative, like it helps and it's really cool. You get to see the action on screen, but we already get that in the game. You know what? So that's why it doesn't really work with the game, because we get that with the game anyway. So the game takes its time to build characters and further the story the way that a book would. But like I say, we don't need an on-screen adaptation of Tomb Raider because every adaptation of Tomb Raider has always been on-screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And to go with that point, that's why I honestly felt that 50 Shades flopped, because like most women that watched that like pictured some dreamy guy, and no offense to the guy in the film, I
think he was a good looking dude.
I think he was a pretty good looking dude, yeah, but obviously some women have different tastes in men. So even though he's a good looking dude, everyone who read that book was absolutely madly in love with him, because they were like, I'm assuming he was described as their perfect guy, and he obviously looking at him, it's like, well, he actually isn't my perfect guy.
Well, I haven't read the books
I haven't read the books, but I know a lot of people didn't like some girls loved it, other girls was like, well, he's not as good as I thought he would look, and it's like, well, that's kind of what you get when you actually put a visual in front of you.
Yeah, well, they had that with Beauty and the Beast, though, and that blew my mind. Where like people were like, oh, like a lot of people, or mostly girls, but like I don't think he's attractive enough to be Prince Charming. And first of all, the dude looked fine anyway.
Yeah.
And second of all, well, you've just missed the moral of the story, then haven't you? And that's looks don't matter. Like the entire point of Beauty and the Beast is like, yeah, like it doesn't matter. It's what's on the inside that counts. And it's like, yeah, he's not handsome enough to be princess. It's like, well, why are you watching this movie?
That's like my mom would say something.
Honestly, like, when I was seeing those, I was like, man, first of all, can you imagine being the actor and seeing that backlash? Like, mate, I thought it was a good looking dude. Like, honestly, like, I thought there was nothing wrong with the guy. But yeah.
I was about to say, imagine sitting there as that actor and just being like, he's not good looking enough for that role.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, thanks, guys.
Thanks for that, guys. Not only have you missed the complete moral of the story, but you've completely shattered my confidence. So.
That's absolutely perfect. Right, we will jump on to our next topic, which is game related. Telltale are bringing, actually it's Skybound who I think are doing it. They are bringing out a limited edition all-in-one Walking Dead Telltale series where you get all these added content for around 200 quid. You get a statue of Lee protecting Clementine, which is really cool. That's probably the only thing I'd want in this. You get a steelbook poster, some pins, a cap, a t-shirt, a little plush, and then you also get like I can't remember what them cups are called. You know them cups that you stack inside each other?
Yeah.
You get them as well of Clementine. It's £200 and you get every single Walking Dead game, including the Michonne DLC and the 400 days for 200 quid. What do you think? Is that viable, or should it be a bit cheaper?
400 was it? What did you say?
200 quid.
200.
Yeah.
I don't know.
$200, so about 150, I think.
I mean, I've never really played the games. I don't like the Walking Dead franchise as a whole. I don't like zombies. They bore me. So yeah, the Walking Dead franchise has never really excited me. So I couldn't give you a good comment on whether that's worth it or not, because I think it has to be. You have to. You know if it's worth it or not if you like the game. So this is more your area than it is mine. So
okay, so it's £182 if you want to buy the statue with everything. So if you just want to buy this limited edition pack, it's £182.13, which is a bit of a weird number, but it probably rounds up with postage to like 200 quid. Do I think it's worth it? I think it's a bit expensive, and I think one thing that really sucks is you get like a few of these bonuses, but you can get most of these bonuses other than the statue on their own, but you can't buy the statue on its own. So they're saying the statue's valued at $150, so about 120 quid maybe. Which alone I'd get the statue in the game, but I wouldn't get all the other shit with it because I don't really care for that. I just care for the statue because I'd be able to put it on my shelf behind me. So for me, it's kind of like a toss-up. I think it is worth it if you're a fan of it. Here's the thing though, you're never probably going to play it again if you're a fan of it. I don't think I'm ever going to probably relive it till like a long time, or if I'm showing someone else the game. I don't think I'll really ever relive the Telltale series, so I'll probably just buy it and just, you know, put it in my game cupboard. So I don't know. Yeah, I wish they'd done the statue alone, because if they'd done the statue alone I'd buy it straight away, but other than that, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'd probably say yeah, buy it if you're as a fan. It's probably viable. It's 200 quid. You know, Mortal Kombat was
200 is a lot though. Like 200, like. So here's the thing. Like, what is the actual value of those items besides?
So they do state the value of them as you're purchasing. So the Walking Dead game. I'm sorry.
I mean the actual value of those items and what you can do with them. That's just
yeah.
You know, I mean, like, I can't, like, £200 is a lot of money. Like, well, I mean, you could probably buy a PlayStation 4 now for 200.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
yeah.
That. So like, to me personally, I think practically, I don't think it's a good choice ever.
Oh, obviously, it's one of them things, right? Where obviously, if you're a massive fan and you want to support the franchise, here's the thing: you're not even supporting really the franchise though, because Telltale are gone now. Yeah, so you're buying this to support Skybound, which I guess, if you're into that, you can. It's kind of weird, I guess. Yeah, £200 a high mark for a limited edition, but most limited edition games now £200. Do you remember when like Modern Warfare 3 came with night vision goggles for £100?
Yeah.
Like that was like the dawn of Earth. Black Ops.
That being said, I would prefer a statue to night vision goggles. What the fuck am I gonna do with night vision goggles?
See in the dark.
Yeah, but like it's just a creepy thing to have, isn't it? Like, so here's my statue of like Scorpion. Oh, that's cool. Here's my my statue of Lee protecting Clementine. That's cool. And here's my night vision goggles. What the fuck are you using night vision goggles for? Like,
yeah,
it's just weird.
Yeah, it is. I honestly, before purchase, this is the thing that's kind of annoying, right? So you have to pre-order this or else you can't get it. So they're literally doing it, so it's like these are going to be out until all of them are purchased, but you can pre-order them now, and that definitely secures your copy of it with the statue and everything. Here's the thing, when I'm buying a limited edition game, I want to see the statue. Obviously not like the picture of the statue. I want to see someone like on a YouTube video show me the statue, so I can see the actual quality of the statue before I purchase it. So it's like I bought the Tracer statue, and the one thing that Blizzard do, which are really good, they actually show you the statue, what it looks like in real life, and they show you literally a full circle of it. And as soon as I seen it, I was like, you know what, I'm getting that statue. That statue looks absolutely perfect. If I buy this statue and it just looks like a piece of shit, why have I just wasted all that money?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a waste anyway. It's the statue. Like,
it is a statue.
When I go into your room, for example, right, I'm like looking around, oh, that's cool, that's cool. That gun's cool, that statue's cool, oh, that merch is cool. But then, like, realistically, I'm looking around and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And so, yeah, but you spent £400 on that, and I'm just like, oh, it's cool at a passing glance.
Yeah. So, I was about to say, it's one of them things. It's like, if you've got the money to throw at it, then by all means you can do. If you ain't got the money to throw at it, why are you throwing money at it? I don't think anyone's going to throw £200 at this if there wasn't already a massive fan and felt that they kind of want that. So, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Like, to look at like statues, some people are really into them, some people really don't care for them. So I think if you're a mega fan, this is probably your dream, because it's got Clementine, Lee, it's got all these stuff. So I can understand why people like it. I'm still debating whether I'm going to get it. Don't know if I am. I do love Telltale's The Walking Dead, and I talk about it all the time about how much I actually love the Telltale series of The Walking Dead. So I'm in an ahhing about it, maybe if it comes down in price, or I'm currently scoping eBay to see if anyone's just going to sell it on its own for like £100 or something.
No, they will overprice that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I looked at the so the first thing I done obviously was scope eBay. As soon as I heard about it, people are already saying they're going to sell them for about £300-400.
Yeah,
and it's just like they've done it the same with the Tracer though. Like when the Tracer statues came out, it was one of them limited availability things. I think you can buy them all the time now, but it was a limited availability thing, and I purchased mine. I think it was like 60-70 quid, and on eBay they were going for like 380 quid, and people were buying them.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I didn't sell mine, but at the time I was like, oh no, I love Overwatch, it's the best game ever, I'm never gonna get rid of it.
Like I said, like, you didn't know that they were gonna come out, so it's like because here's the thing, right? Like, you didn't buy the statue to make a profit. You bought the statue to buy the statue.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Selling it for more money doesn't really make that much sense, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. So that's basically it. But if you haven't played the Walking Dead's Telltale series, honestly recommend playing it. I know you won't play it, Luke, so I'm not even going to tell you to play it. It's because you don't like the whole Telltale. And I don't like
Telltale. It's an illusion of choice.
Yeah, I can understand that. I get that, and I understand you. But it's fucking wrong. I'm joking. It is an illusion of choice. I have seen all the other takes on it, but I do still love the game, you know what I mean? It's an interesting story and it's a fun watch and it's easy. Right, anyway, moving on. Last topic is Borderlands 3 gameplay was shown today, not today, it was shown this week. I was going to say today to add more hype to it. It was shown this week, right? I've heard a few things. I ain't heard much, right? All I've heard so far is the game looks clean as hell. The game looks smooth. Everything looks nice, and it looks like it's had a graphical buff but kept its same art style, which is really impressive. Another thing which a lot of people are arguing about, and even the devs started getting involved, which I heard about this morning when I was doing a bit of research, microtransactions. Borderlands, the devs have stated there are microtransactions, but they're not play to win and they're cosmetic only. But a lot of people are clickbaiting about the microtransactions, saying pay to win, pay to win, pay to win. But apparently they're 100% not. But in Borderlands 2, they also done a feature where if you bought like the limited edition copy of it or something like that, you did get like a thing that gave you a 5% increase on loot pickup, that it will be like a better weapon. They're saying there might be something similar in Borderlands 3. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I don't think, in all honesty, that's a pay to win feature at all. 5% is not much.
I might disagree with you on the 5%, but I don't think it's a pay to win feature anywhere because it's not multiplayer.
Yeah, definitely. I think if it changes anything multiplayer related,
pay to win only applies if it's a multiplayer title or if you scale enemies to a point where paying becomes a real option.
Yeah, where you have to pay to advance in the game.
Just like pay gates, basically.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll pass it over to you. Tell me what's going on in the Borderlands gameplay. What happened? What did you see?
So good. The first thing I want to talk about the Borderlands 3 stuff is the new skill trees.
Okay.
And the new skill trees have me so excited because typically in Borderlands we always get one action skill, right? We get one action skill and 3 trees. Now the 3 trees will kind of change the way the character plays, but they won't do too much, right?
Yeah.
So it might drastically change. For example, like if you're playing Necromancer on Borderlands 2, there's different trees you can go through, and one tree is a bit more focused on her action, which is Death Trap, whereas another tree might be more focused on her gunplay.
Yeah.
Right. And that's cool, but like it's not that great. But the new Borderlands 3, we have 3 action skills. So basically, we have 3 action trees, and we have 3 trees and 3 action skills. So instead of your character being locked to 1 skill now, you will have a choice of 3, right? So before, let's say like Zero, for example, he can go invisible and send out a clone.
Yeah.
That was the only action skill he could get. Whereas now we have, I think we've seen 2 characters in their trees. So one character is called Zane the Operative, and he has 3 action skills. The far left one is a shield, a deployable shield that he can put down and pick up and stuff, and that tree kind of revolves around that shield a bit.
Yeah.
And in the middle one, what was the middle one? I do not remember what the middle one was right now, but the one on the far right was his clone, where he sends a clone of himself out, and he can like swap places with a clone and stuff. It's really cool. And then like pretty much any points down that tree revolves around the clone. And the reason why it's so cool is because, like I say, you feel like you have more choices about how you want to play that character now.
Yeah.
Some of the skills look really OP, and I'm really excited.
Oh, you've cut out. Sorry.
I said some of the skills look really good, like really OP, and I'm really excited to see if they'll be like good in game, because OP in Borderlands is fun. Like when stuff is OP in Borderlands, it's fun. Like it's kind of good. It makes you feel like you're actually progressing in the game. It's like, oh yeah, like you might play a character like, I don't know, let's say you play like, I don't know, a character like Krieg or something at the start of the game. It feels a bit shitty because your ult isn't that great until it becomes a super badass.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the bottom of your skill tree and upgrade that final point, you notice how much better the character becomes. It starts becoming really OP, and it gets really fun. And that's kind of where that's why I'm really excited for this. I wasn't too excited for the characters at first, but now that I've seen each one has 3 action skills, I'm really excited for it. It means that the Beastmaster is probably gonna be really cool. It means that the Siren's gonna look more interesting than I thought she was gonna as well. Generally, all the characters that I thought looked a bit boring and bland they're gonna feel like they're way more fleshed out because of this. The gunplay, oh my god, the guns look so smooth.
Yeah, the guns look
They
buttery
look
smooth.
so
Like
good.
it's a real, like, you can see like a real smooth 60 FPS, can't
Yeah,
you? Like
yeah.
it is constant 60.
It looks so freaking good. The alternate fire modes look really cool. Generally, just it looks like they've upped the. It looks like they've upped it as a whole. Like they've just improved upon what they already had, which is all Borderlands had to do. It didn't have to be like drastic or anything. It didn't have to take things out. It just had to improve. We are getting the multiple worlds feature that we was all hoping for at the end of Borderlands 2, which is really cool. What I'm intrigued to see now is if there's going to be multiple vaults or just the one vault, and the kind of impact that these vaults are going to have, because we know the impact that the Borderlands 1 vault had, but we don't know as a whole that every single vault is going to have the same impact as each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll be really exciting to see if there'll be multiple vaults now, or or the game will still revolve around one vault. It'll be interesting to see that. Yeah, just as a whole, honestly, the game looks amazing. I can't really big it up because it just looks like Borderlands, but better, which is all it had to do and all anyone wanted it to do.
Yeah, so from what I've seen in the conference, the developers basically said, like, there's so many looter shooter out there. They didn't want to become this like looter shooter that basically is just living in the meta of looter shooters. They said they know what they do right, and they're just gonna keep at it with just making improvements, which I do like, because a lot of games, when they try and become another game, they lose their they lose what makes them a good game. And I understand Borderlands really has its like strong vibe, and it does have like a mega fan base that absolutely adore them. So I can understand that, like, keeping your core audience happy over keeping like other people happy over a loot shooter is obviously perfect, because a lot of people generally jump into Borderlands no matter what. Like, most people, as soon as they hear about Borderlands, some people don't like the art style, but I think a lot of people have got over that now.
Wait, some people don't like the art style?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot. Well, so in Borderlands 1, a lot of people, it was very hit or miss whether if people like the art style or not.
Wait, really?
Yeah, like I remember that being like a defining, because I was like, so Borderlands came out, I think it was around the same time as Skyrim, maybe? Don't hold me to that. Borderlands 1 did, and I actually picked Borderlands over Skyrim because I thought it was interesting and everyone was playing Skyrim. I ended up buying Skyrim like a few weeks later, but I always went back to Borderlands. Borderlands 1 was my favorite Borderlands. I never played Borderlands 2 fully, you know, all that. Yeah. But Borderlands 1, and a lot of people that I recommended Borderlands 2 all said that they didn't like the art style. They were just like, it's not for me. Yeah, they were like, it's too, it just don't look right. It looks weird. And I think that's completely, like, a lot of people don't care about the art style anymore. Like, most people,
I don't even think that's a justified concern. The art style was great.
I think the art style was a bit weird to the eyes at first. Like, when I first played Borderlands 1, I was just like, oh, this is different. I didn't really care for the art style that much, but like over time I actually preferred it. I thought it was quite cool. It was fresh, and that's what they're keeping with. That's perfect.
Well, if they changed the art style, no, I feel like, if I'm being honest, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't play it.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I mean. I think if they change the art style, I think that would just be dramatic. That'd be like literally giving you almost a brand new game. Like, you
like their art, Borderlands at that point.
Their art style is just what defines. Their art style and other features are what defines.
Their art style and writing is what makes Borderlands Borderlands. Like, don't get me wrong, they've nailed the looter shooter aspect in terms of loot drops and stuff like that. But what makes Borderlands Borderlands is the art and the writing.
Yeah. What do you think, right? I'm just throwing this at you now. I don't think it is very similar. I haven't seen much gameplay on it, but what do you think about Rage?
I don't give a crap about Rage.
I know, like, no, but like, as in, like, Rage just seems like, I don't know, just from videos, I'm not saying I've seen a lot, it does look a bit like Borderlands. not art style, but like thematically, it like
it's
got that kind of like.
So the initial Rage. First of all, I hated the initial Rage. I thought it felt like a really incomplete game.
It felt like a clunky Fallout for me.
See, it didn't feel like a clunky Fallout. It felt post-apocalyptic with its own story and stuff, but it felt like the story didn't really fit well together, and it felt incomplete. It honestly felt incomplete. The ending left me unsatisfied. The multiplayer left me unsatisfied. As a whole, I didn't like Rage. And then Rage 2 comes out and it looks the artwork, like the way the graphics and stuff, it looks way different to Rage 1.
Yeah, I was about to say it doesn't even look like Rage.
Yeah, I think that's worse. Personally, I don't like the way the new Rage looks. Yeah, they're trying to be more funny and comical and stuff. And honestly, I don't like the way it looks. I never really cared for Rage anyway. But yeah, I don't really like the way Rage 2 looks personally.
Yeah, Rage's coming out soon, but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get it. But
oh, I'm definitely not getting it.
Yeah, I just thought, like, as we was talking about it, like, I was just like, actually, Rage comes out soon, and it has kind of like they're going for kind of like the same vibe, like as Borderlands, which. Whatever, like, do your own thing if you want to copy them. I'm not saying they're copying them, but if you want to go down that route of like more comedic looter shooter, then you can do that. One thing I have heard, apparently, this game is going to be 30 plus hours. What do you think of that, Borderlands 3? 30 plus hours.
Easy. It should easily be that. My Borderlands 2, I have like 5 characters that are all 72. Like, honestly, Borderlands you should easily get 30 plus hours out of Borderlands easily. You should probably get way more than that as well.
No, same 30. Well, yeah, 30 plus hours to completion. So, say you do that with like multiple characters, as a lot of people probably will. You're getting a lot of game time out of that. I think that's decent. Yeah, I think that's like, really good.
Well, that's the thing. It's a good. Borderlands has always been a good looter shooter where like the drop tables are good and it's fun to farm. It's generally fun to play. Like most games are hard to replay. Borderlands is quite easy to replay, especially because you have like so the reason that you should get a lot of game time out of Borderlands is like you have your regular game and then you have like True Vault Hunter, Ultimate Vault Hunter, then you have like OPA and stuff. And then they already talked about the different game modes they're having on this. But that's what I mean where like you can easily get 30 plus hours out of Borderlands. Like I think if I'm being honest, that number probably downplayed a little bit as well. I reckon like that's downplayed to a more casual number on the game. Like I reckon most people that really want to play the game will get way more than 30 hours easy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Easy. Definitely. I like that number though. Like I like to hear that a game that's like when devs are like 30 plus hours, you're like, you know what, I'm pretty happy with that. When most games
depends. Sometimes I'm skeptical over like the number, but with Borderlands, I generally don't die for a second.
Yeah, I think as well, Borderlands is one of them games where who's the developers of it?
Gearbox.
It don't feel like Borderlands doesn't feel like one of them games that are kind of like forced at people. It feels like a game that they're kind of like happy that they're making. Not like, oh well, this is Borderlands sort of thing. Like, just please enjoy it because we've been forced against our will to make it. It kind of feels like they've brought this out with a bit of heart behind it, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
But is there anything else? I heard there's more bosses and more. Obviously, there's going to be just more everything. Obviously, really, because
it's just Borderlands, but with improvements.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about on it, or are you pretty done with it?
It's kind of impossible to talk about more. Like I say, it's just Borderlands, but even better than it was before.
Yeah. Did you get to see the deployable gun running around, or did you not get to see that in the trailer?
Yeah, I believe there actually was someone that used the deployable gun running around. I believe it was just a reload feature, so when you reloaded, the gun would like.
Really? I'm watching it now. He's versing a boss, and he's shooting like one bullet and then lobbing it on the floor, and it's just running around shooting.
They had stuff like that in Borderlands 2 as well, where like you'd reload and then the reload would do stuff. Like
I remember. I was about to say, yeah. I was about to say. I
stuff.
remember the grenade reload, which it didn't. I didn't like it that much, but I don't know. I'm a bit
I like them. Like I say, if you don't like those, and you just don't use that weapon.
Yeah,
You know
that's what I mean. It was like one of them. I think when we was playing, when I first started playing Borderlands 2 with you, I think I traded my shotgun for another shotgun, but every time it was like, it said it had like 6 bullets, but it was actually 2 bullets because it shot 3 at a time.
Yeah.
And then the reload, he like lobs it off their head and it just blows up. And I was just, man, this gun's trash. Like, I thought it had 6 shots instead of 2. So I know it kind of conned me, but I understand why. Obviously, it was doing more damage, but kind of conned me. But I kind of like that on Borderlands because you've got so many guns. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool finding a gem in the trash as well.
The gem in the trash.
Yeah.
What's that?
A lot of guns in Borderlands can be like really trash. So then when you find like a really one that you really like,
oh yeah, I can.
The game feels so nice then.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, is there anything else you want to talk about, or?
No, 100 done now.
Did they show you anything in space on the game?
Yeah, they showed you they showed you your new base, which is Sanctuary, which is kind of the new Sanctuary. And yeah, basically just lets you like travel to different planets and stuff. But
okay, well, is that? Oh yeah, okay. So that's just going to be like your middleman now, sort of thing. Instead of going into a town, you just go to your base where your crew is, and you buy all guns, and off them or whatever.
Well, that's why
how it is. What do you mean?
That's what it was before. What do you mean?
I'm saying, so the ship now where you travel to planet, that's now like your city where you would go and buy like guns from.
It's a new Sanctuary,
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right, and you're pretty much done. You got nothing else to say about the game other than you're extremely excited for it.
Yes.
When does it come out?
September 14th, I believe.
September 14th. Okay.
Or maybe it might be 14th. It might be before. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's cool. That is about it for us then. We will do an exclusive Game of Thrones podcast on Monday. We will see you guys in the next chapter. Peace.